Lorne Templeton. I farm with family at the Rollo Drinkwater area. Like Jim, I went on to post-secondary school. I actually have a business degree. Spent some time in a bank for a few years, and then did some Farm Debt Review Board stuff for quite a few years. All the while being involved in a farm. Our dad started the farm relatively new in most things because it started in 1976 as renting. We farm at that point in time around 3,300 acres. Today we're around 18,000 and growing. I have 3 brothers, a couple nephews that are involved in the farm. We farm in a 8 by 12 mile block essentially, and we do that on purpose because we don't want to travel. And if it doesn't connect, or we're not overly interested. So we try and keep that as a conscious decision in building our farm, and so far it's worked to our advantage. There's a lot of things that are going on in agriculture these days. For us, in the recent years, it's been succession planning. We have to get the next generation involved. We want them involved. We want them working off the farm if that's what they want to do. But we want to make sure that they have the opportunity, if they want to come back and farm, that it's there. We are primarily family operated, so that it's important. Family is very strong in our background. We really want that next generation to take over the decision making. Our father did a very good job of letting go of the reins. By the time he hit around that 60, 61, 62, he had basically backed away from the farm operation, which is a very difficult position. When you're 60 and you still want to be the decision maker and starting to let go, that's a tough thing. And we're getting to that age. My brothers are a little older. I'm the youngest. But we're all to that point where over the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to face those very same decisions. So how do we get that next generation involved? How do we get that next generation willing to take over? Because there's a part and part. You have to be willing to take over. You have to be allowed to make mistakes. So that means you have to be decision makers. So that those are kind of very key to our operation. We're around that 30% owned and 70% rented, and when we grew, we grew by getting out and doing a little hustling, basically, is going to farmers that we thought were going to retire and saying, we're interested. When you want to retire, please give us an opportunity to either rent or buy your land. And fortunate for us, we through Dad, had a very good reputation in our area, and we're given those opportunities. And we've made pretty good return on investment for landlords. And that's the key. It's a business climate. Agriculture is really a business climate that you have to be prepared to talk for rate of return. Is it a rate of return better in the marketplace, or is it better in agriculture? Is it better to own a tangible asset? Is it better to own iron or equipment? And how do you get that mix? So there's a whole aspect of, as being farm advisors and financial advisors, and I was in that industry for a while, it's tough to get people to understand that today we're out of maybe production is not as key as it used to be, because it really came through a climate of production being the most important thing. Now you have to understand your markets, you have to understand rate of returns, you have to understand the interest rates, where they're going, you have to understand currency, you have to understand your labor market as well, and you have to know about succession planning, because if you're doing a succession plan and somebody's already passed away, it's too late. And there's lots of agriculture operations where there is some health concerns, there is age-related concerns. So those things all have to be brought into play today, rather because tomorrow is too late. And we're in that aspect right now in our farm. We just lost the mic. About the succession plan. I went from one company to 9 and 4 family trusts. So I'm the finance guy in the farm operation. I'm not the production guy, and I'm not the maintenance guy. I have brothers that are far better in those areas, and I'll take a step back and let them make their decisions. When it gets into the financial operation, they take a step back. And in our operation, it's like family. It's like a good marriage, bad marriage. When you communicate, it's good. When you don't, it's bad. So communication is one of those things that is very key in our operation as well. Future outlook, we're probably going to get bigger. We're already looking at another couple thousand acres for next year, depending on a farmer who may want to retire. And if he is, we're willing to take a look at it and probably will take it on. We're starting to look at outside labor now. We have 2 people involved, outside labor, and we probably will need more because things are starting in our operation to be a little bit more layered. You have to have some layered management and some layered management skills. It's another thing that has to grow as you get bigger. So.